Jim, welcome to episode 3 of Connections with Jim Franco. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill, and thank you once again for the opportunity. I always enjoy being interviewed by you. You're such a professional.
The last time we spoke, Jim, we talked about entrepreneurial beginnings. Today, we're going to be talking about something I know that's near and dear to your heart, creating a caring corporate culture. I know that's a big part of your success. So, Jim, you've been working for someone or for yourself since you were a kid. On our last episode, you talked about starting off as a 12-year-old getting into business. How do you feel that culture plays a role in workplace satisfaction?
It is, I believe, 100% the most important thing that you can do as an entrepreneur, as a business, because the big corporations do not treat their employees or their customers like they should be treated. They get so involved in their own processes and their own branding, they just take their eyes off the ball, in my opinion. And let me tell you how I really got started as a learning about being an entrepreneur with good culture. How do you treat employees? I didn't have a clue when I had my service station. So when I brought in my first employee, I thought, well, I don't know what to do. I think I'll just show them what I'm doing. And if they do what I'm doing, I can go ahead and do even more and bigger, better things. So the first thing I decided to do is treat them like a equal. I treated them like they were actually, in some cases, later on in life, I treated people like they were much better than me. And that's important, to be humble and treat the people like you want to be treated. Please and thank yous and honor, etc. So I kind of learned that early on because I didn't know how to hire and vent. I just got a guy in there and says, here, let's do what I do. And the positive attitude, there are customers and the other employees started way back then. And as I went through my career, I also found that it was much better for me in the beginning to teach a person how to be a counterman rather than hire countermen with bad habits. So I took a lot of time to get drivers. They became countermen. From there, some became machinists and salesmen. So I always poured a lot of energy and effort into training, teaching, nurturing, mentoring them, but always remembering that that's my greatest asset. Those guys are on the front line. Those are the ones that are talking to my customers every single day. So I've got to instill in them what I do. And I didn't by shoving it down their throat. I showed them. I'm on the counter handling people 2, 3 at a time, take care of business, big smile. They go out laughing and having fun. That is important. And that's another thing people forget to do is have fun with their businesses. And a lot of entrepreneurs don't believe it's important to be involved in their personal life. Well, I go beyond that. I make sure that I know their wife and kid's name and what their activities are and what they're all about. Just I always ask about that. All mine. And today I've got a 14.7-year tenure. That means 90% of the people I hired are still with me. And I even picked up a cliche, and it's very difficult, but I say I do hire for life because I really want a relationship with my team member that they are happy enough to be with me for their life. And I'll give one example. Rita, one of my girls, she started working for me right out of high school in my auto parts store, putting price labels on my out front merchandise at 17 years old. And she came with me to my computer company. She was in my admin. And last year, oh, by the way, she had a daughter. Her daughter went to college. Her daughter is now in my admin department. So I had a mother and daughter working for me. And she had a little aneurysm and passed away after being with me for 39 and a half years. I mean, her entire life was spent with me. What an honor. What an honor. Can't get choked up. But so now, also there's money These guys have to know they're recognized not only by their I give them their birthdays off with the $10 for every year. Most everybody's getting $100 bill and their birthdays off. I do the 401k and health insurance, but here's the biggie that I did about I don't know 8 or 10 years ago. I said I always think of ways that I can encourage my people to want to come to work. There's the difference. To want to come to work, not have to, but get to. So I had an idea. I said, you know what? I'm going to get reloadable Visa cards for every one of my employees. And so the model is, and I tell them this every time you get an email, a kudo from your customer or from one of your peers, send it to my daughter Tiffany. She goes in my office. We go through them, and reward. I mean, I've got ones where Bob Fasano was sitting in a dentist chair helping a customer. I had another one of my employees were out dirt biking and stopped to help one of my customers. These are above and beyond things. So let me tell you how it works. We read over these emails, right? Then we put a dollar amount on them, well, 50, 100, $200, whatever it called for. But here's the twist, Bill. That email gets sent to all 96 employees, not only about what they did, but then the little stipends they got. That puts a positive attitude in my company, not the things that are wrong, but the things that are right. And that's helped a lot. So that's kind of my culture story, and it's worked out very, very well for me.
So, Jim, in each business you've created, you've just done it a little bit, but can you summarize like the overall culture you've tried to create? You've touched on a lot of different things there, right? I hear trust, I hear caring for people, I hear personal relationships, I hear hiring for life, I hear acknowledgement, reward.
And it takes it all, Bill. There's not one silver bullet. It's just come in every day and do the best you can with the Lord gave you to use to treat people kind, respectful, complimentary. I even one time I got in a kick and I went out to 99-cent store and bought mirrors and put them on every one of my uh, uh, team members' cubicle. And they go, "What are you doing, Jim?" I said, I heard something that's important. People know on the other end of the phone, they can't see you, but they know if you're smiling or not. They know if you're having fun or not. So when you're talking to a customer, look in that mirror and put a smile on your face and see if it makes a difference. So I've tried every little teeny thing they've ever heard, learned, or thought about out there and try to incorporate it into my company to create the kind of atmosphere that people really enjoy working for me. And I challenge them, believe me. You don't sit back and ride Jim Franco's coattails. No, 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 no. I'm on them hard. But but that's good because they don't want to. I don't want them to get bored. The worst thing you can do in business is get bored. So I'm always stirring the pot, and you know that through my marketing campaigns, which we can talk about. And if you noticed, every one of my companies and my service station had the flags and put the tires out front and put the cars out there and dress people up funny and put fan belts around their neck. In an auto parts store, I had the windows painted. I had a parrot in there. Shouldn't tell you this, but I had a beer cake sitting in the refrigerator just behind the counter with a little sign that says 25 cents for a beer. So my customer would come in there, put a quarter in there, and pour a beer while they're waiting on the counter. And I could do that today. But that, and coffee, of course, was always for free. I mean, I just created an atmosphere of I'd like to go down to Unlimited Auto Parts and enjoy the company, the fun, and buy some parts. So it takes a combination of things.
If there was a young entrepreneur starting out, or say a company was looking to re-engineer their corporate culture, they wanted to revamp it. So either starting off or revamping. Are there any suggestions you might suggest? Are there any things you might offer to this person who's doing that? For example, would you do a employee survey? That seems to be a common thing. Or
Yes, I've done many of those. I've done them where they're anonymous, and I've done it where I put their names on them. And I said, guys, I want to know what you need, because here's the bottom line. The first thing I would tell people the first thing you say to them when you get them all together is, you're the most important person in this company, the most important asset of this whole company. And I work for you. I work for you. You're going to tell me what you need, what you want, how you want it, how you want to work, all that stuff. And I'm going to do my very best to give you those tools so you can enjoy working here. But I work for you, number one. And also say, the corporate pyramid, it's got on top, it's got the CEO, and it's got the corporate executive, then it's got administration and marketing there somewhere, and then here's the products, and here's the customer. Okay, I turn it upside down. Customers are number one, employees are number two, admin all the way down, and I'll definitely be last, and that's okay, because that's actually how it works, right? Think about the big picture. That's actually how it works. If you're a good entrepreneur interested in building a quality company that people can be proud of to work for and to work with. So if I was to tell somebody, I would say, look at this podcast and memorize it. Because let me tell you a little secret. When I had my service station, one night, this gentleman drives in with his great big black Lincoln Continental suicide doors, dressed to the hilt, had a pinky ring with a diamond in it as big as a dime. And I said to him, how can I become successful as you are? He says, young man, I'll tell you how to do it. You take successful people out to dinner and listen. Pretty simple, wasn't it? And I've been doing that all my life. I listen. I had to learn all this stuff. The hard knocks, maybe. How to handle insurance and how to do payroll and marketing and all this stuff had to come to me. I hate to say it the hard way, but because I was a kind of a maverick, and I know in here you got some. You're going to ask me about taking risks, but I have a reputation of I'm not afraid of anything. If I see a glimmer of a company that's got some profit in it that I could purchase, or a product, or something where I could advance our company and make profit, I'm all over it, and with very little fear. I mean, when I leveraged everything I own from my last acquisition from eBay to buy parts watch, Maxell, and AutoEase, millions and millions of dollars. People said, Jim Franco, you're 75 years old. Are you crazy? You're putting everything, all your properties, everything you own on the line to buy that company, because I had to buy cash. And it worked out very, very, very well, because I could see it. I could feel it. The Lord has given me some instinct that I can't explain. But I've got vision, I've got creativity, I've got drive, and I've got guts, balls to go for it. And a lot of times after I'm in it, then I got to figure out how to make it work.
So Jim, thank you. Two quick comments. I think we all know you're crazy. And
yes,
I think,
thank you.
right?
I am.
And by the way,
I am.
And so is Elon Musk, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you. Thanks for that compliment.
Great to be with you, Jim. Thank you.
Bill, thanks once again, and God bless.